Hello, greetings. And you're on to Austin. I'm reaching out to you live from the broadcasting department of the Kringle Society. And I'm here to give us a very brief broadcast, as I've always been doing. And today, the title of my broadcast is Compiling the Lists of Those That Are Going to Be Leaders in Life Force Nigeria. So if you're tuning into my broadcast for the very first time, I would appreciate it if you can like my channel, give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so that you can get yourself up to date as regards the events going on in our Kringle Private Society. And click on the notification bell so that anytime that I'm live, you'd get the notification. We are in exciting times in our Kringle Society, very exciting times, And so many people will be wondering, like, why does this man come around to, talk about compiling the lists of leaders that are in the Kringle Private Society? Now, I'm reaching out to you from Nigeria. So everything that I'm doing is local to our country, Nigeria. And I believe that other leaders are doing their part. The likes of Bederick is doing his own, and he's also making sure that people are aware or knowing of what is going on, or are in the know of what's going on. So TBC Nigeria would not also leave their citizens out of this, especially individuals who are members of the Kringle Private Society, as many who are willing to key in and watch this video, like this channel, or just take note of the information that are going on. Then they are updated as the events or on the events that are going on. So let me move straight to the point, because I'm going to say a lot of things today, and I'm going to share my screen so that people can have an idea of how the selection process is going on. So let me quickly move straight, share my screen, and then say a few things. So screen now is being shared. So the first thing I'll do is I'll move straight into the Kringle Cash education section. That's the first place I would go to. Now, this content is our meeting. Now, I'm not going to say everything about the meeting. No, I just want to say something. And I'll quickly go there. This meeting has already been, done. So those of us who hasn't attended the meeting, do well to go into meeting section in the Kringle Cash and then find out how it went. So I'm particular on Life Force. So there was a particular place that I want to get to, which is here. This is where I want to get to, here. And I want to read it out. Then that will usher me into the main content. In fact, I'll read everything, and I'll be fast. So as I read, I explain. I selected TBC leaders this week and gave them access. Now, these TBC leaders are heads of different countries. Refer back to the last week's weekly meeting to get proper foundations on it. So the administration is repeating it again. I selected TBC leaders this week and gave them access to the contact data of members in their country so that they could quickly reach out to those listed and invite them to be on the National Assembly of their country. The leaders are already selected. In Nigeria, the leader is already selected. And the truth about life is informations cannot be hidden, one. Two, your impact to a particular organization will really matter over time. So whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. And everyone sees how effective you are to your society, your community, your workplace, your church, your mosque, whichever thing you are doing. People understand your abilities, your capabilities, and how they can work with you to succeed on a particular affair or activity or whatsoever. So it is because I have done the little I can in the Kringle Private Society, and I'm still doing, that I had to get to know those who are behind the scene building this leadership. And fortunately, I was able to reach out to, the leader was able to reach out to me and gave me some insights of what's going on and gave me the responsibility of showing, explaining, and giving out the updates of what's going on behind the scenes. So if you see me out here saying what I'm saying, I am not just assuming things. I'm not just saying things from my head. Okay, there are instructions. I'm working under directives, and that directive is under the present leader. Let me show you the leader so that you understand me very well. If you come here, this particular individual, this is the individual that I'm working directly under at this point. It is based on his directive that I'm giving out this information. So pay attention to the information, because every information I'm giving out here are the things that are going to soon feature in the Kringle Cash back office. The leaders are going to be put into this Kringle Cash back office before this week comes to an end. So if you're able to keep in touch with my information, with my news per se, private news, because it's just for Kringle Society, then you are up to date. So please do well to take note of that. So let me continue. I have explained the grounds upon which I'm interacting with members in TBC Nigeria. So listen to my contents. At least this should be credible grounds to listen to me. All right, going forward, so that they could quickly reach out to those listed and invite them to be on the National Assembly of their country. They just need 30, including themselves. They should use all data and a lot of common sense, on their selection process. It is not a rigid process. It is not a stereotype process. It is common senses. Now, let me refer back to the elite kind of democracy that is currently existing in Nigeria. Now, you're free to listen if you're from other countries, okay? But then I'm paying attention to Nigeria. So those of us who are not from Nigeria, at least you have an idea to see how the politics is going on in our country. Now, in our country, Nigeria, the person in charge is from a particular northern tribe of Nigeria. And when he was selecting his cabinet leaders, his cabinet members, he selected people from a particular tribe, which is similar to his own tribe. In my own opinion, it does not balance what you call the concept of democracy. There is a thing they call federalism or something like that. I mean, covering the 6 geopolitical zones. When you are picking leaders, you should pick leaders from north, south, east, west. You should pick leaders that you can believe and trust in. You know, people can actually recommend you as a leader, and you can be adopted into a particular cabinet office or something like that. So it should be balanced. That's the point I'm trying to drive at. That's where common sense is involved. The person who is the president of Nigeria, he heard what people had to say. He knew what would be favorable to the people, but he refused to listen, and he went ahead with his own mindset. And that's what you call a dogmatic tendency. And those kind of tendencies will not push Nigeria to where it's supposed to be. And I believe that this is also applying to other countries in Africa, and it is wrong. So in Nigeria, as long as Nigeria TBC community life force is concerned, I think we are going to use a whole lot of common sense in selecting people. Take note of what I'm saying. Now, let's hear the example the administration gave. He said, for example, they should select representatives from all parts or regions to be a part of the National Assembly. So admin is actually telling you how common sense should apply. He's giving you an idea. Now, let's keep reading. And not just those that have high Bitcoin bounty earnings. So he's now saying that Bitcoin bounties should become secondary in your selection process. That doesn't mean that you should actually pick people that have 0 Bitcoin bounty or 1 or 2. It doesn't mean. We're looking at people who have reasonable Bitcoin bounty, not 1 or 2 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20. We're looking at people who are having reasonable Bitcoin bounty. When the results play out, you will see. So let me continue. I used high Bitcoin bounty earnings as the primary point of selection and meeting attendance as the secondary point of selection, so that I would not be accused of playing favorites in the way I selected leaders. Now, in our own case, Nigeria, our first priority is what? 6 geopolitical zones. I've said this before, but I'm emphasizing, which is north central, northeast, and northwest. Then south, southeast, and southwest. And then with that, we've formed the 6 geopolitical zones. There is no state in Nigeria, that is 36 states in Nigeria. There is no state that is not among these 6 geopolitical zones that I've mentioned, including the majority and the minority tribes. They are all there. And you are going to see all of them in the leadership section of the KCBO. So we have said the first placement. The second placement is gender equality. That's the second placement. But it has always been a setting in Africa where the men take the higher portion or takes the lion's share. So you are not expected to see a 50-50 in the national level for Nigeria. You are going to see something like 20-10, 20 men, 10 women, so that it will be balanced. And all these people will still comprise of those from these 6 geopolitical zones. Now, I've given the first placement, I've given the second placement. Now, the third placement is Bitcoin bounties. That is the third placement. The fourth placement is what? How often do you attend meetings? Now, there's what you call a cutoff mark for Bitcoin bounties. If you fall below that cutoff mark, you are not qualifying. Even though you are part of those that will form the minority tribe, that cutoff mark should be the major yardstick for meetings and for Bitcoin bounties. So let this be known. And I am not intending to say that cutoff mark yet, but I'm giving you an idea of what you are going to expect to see. We cannot select everybody to be on that regional level or on the national level. We are going to select those that we also have a personal understanding about. Now, that's what you call human relationship. The people who are going to be in that cabinet or in the national level are going to be people that we already have a relationship with. And if those people are selected, which they will be selected, they will be put there. Those that are going to be on this national level in Nigeria, they already know themselves. So it's not something new. I'm actually giving an information to everyone that are in the TBC community Nigeria. Whoever chooses to listen are going to be part of those that will understand and also benefit. So beware of what's going on. I used high Bitcoin bounty earnings as the primary point of selection and meeting attendance as secondary point of selection so that I would not be accused of playing favorites in the way I selected leaders. I have explained over and over again in this blog that TBC is a meritocracy and that Bitcoin bounty, Bitcoin income is the way, is the number one way that to measure a TBCian's merits in our Kringle private society, in our organization. So let's hear what the administration also has to say moving forward. Now, keep in mind that these leaders are being called to gather 30 members each to set up a national assembly. But they are not being chosen to lead us or to lead it. Now, let the 30 that come together vote in their officers, just like we do with committees. Now, the point is that we create these assemblies as fast as possible. The world is falling apart, and the funding will only go through assemblies. So we need to hurry. Your government is not getting any funding from the global repository because they did not accept Kim Goggen's offer in time. Now, this is a crisis, and we don't have a lot of time to organize ourselves to get the fundings flowing to the people. Let's take the least drama routes to gather and set up assemblies at all levels, including national, states, city. TBC is a drama-free zone. Now, you should understand what this means, drama-free zone. And I believe that people who are in the leadership will understand much better. Now, let's scroll down. This is foundation of government. And this is the soil upon which the governments are standing. And at this point, they are using scandal to uproot themselves. And if there is no more soil upon which the government is standing, what happens to this government? It will fall apart. And that's exactly what's going on. So let's read through this, and then we'll conclude on this and move to something else. It shouldn't surprise those that have been attending the mass adoption trainings that all governments will collapse. I feel of the remote viewers I see subscribe okay, a few of the remote viewers I subscribe to say October of this year is when the government will collapse. Well, we don't really know when they will collapse. It may be this year, it may be next year. But the bottom line is, picture it as a tree planted on nature or on the ground. Now, when the tree has a major, very big branch and it is cut off, the leaves will still be green and it could be green for a while. But after a month, I think it is going to become pure brown. That's exactly what has happened to the government, because it's no more receiving fundings or nutrients from the original tree. And that's exactly what Life Force now has done, has stifled and then removed control from the central banks. All the banking systems that you've always known, Bank of International Settlements, World Bank, International Monetary Funds, they have been cut off. Now, this is the whole truth, because if it was not true, then the information coming from Kim wouldn't be. And every other government that has been receiving these fundings, you know, it's a debt-based system. That system has been cut off. The next system we're moving into is a gold-backed system. We are returning it back to a gold-backed system. And these things are going to unfold between now and next year. You'll see them unfold. So beware of what's going on. Every government you know now will soon dry out. And once they dry out, if we have not yet formed a food subsidy, and if we have not yet also formed our assemblies, then we are going down with them. But I believe that we are up and doing our part to make sure that before the system dries out, that there will be an alternative way of funding. That's exactly what we are doing. So join us, because TBC has all it takes to accommodate you. And if you are able to keep up, then you are not just going to come out to be one of the government of Life Force. You are also going to be a billionaire or a millionaire in the TBC community as we get more organized. So let's continue. And who knows, without funding, how can they keep going? All central banks having lost their authority to print money, all central banks having lost their authority to print money. Now, it's not only central banks, because central banks are subsidiaries of a higher bank. Even those higher banks has lost their authority to even lend money to nations like Africa. That's how bad it will be. When our president wants to borrow money, he can't borrow money because there is no money to borrow. Are you seeing the idea? Are you seeing what's going on? I hope we understand. Now let's continue, because I'm almost through on this area. Now, are you ready for these massive changes? The New World Order took over a long time ago. The New World Order took over a long time ago, and we saw that hidden hand in March of 2020 when they did a nationwide or a worldwide shutdown. All governments lost their moral authority when they started this genocidemic. No people in their right mind should support a government that commits genocide or it's on its own people, of its own people. Now, a death sentence has been attached to ignorance. So those who are getting the jab, they are going to be the one to suffer the what? Death sentence. And the ignorant are still lining up to get their kill shots. Well, we will have less stupid people in the world when the smoke clears. That's very interesting. We will have less stupid people in the world when the smoke clears. And I hope that people in the TBC community are not stupid. All right, so let's continue. I have been telling you all for years to stock up food, that this may be your last warning. So they are already working on making sure that there's food storage. These guys are actually desperate. You know, when you are desperate about something, you can go an extra mile. You can even kill. In fact, you can do anything. You can seize someone's soul. Can you imagine someone's soul will be in prison and can't escape? That's what they are bringing to people. That's the mark of the beast. And beware of it, that even your own creator will not accept you if you're able to allow yourself to degenerate into being a human 2.0. That's not how your creator wants you. He wants you to have a free will, a free mind, a free soul, a free spirit. And that's how we are doing it. And I hope you hear and you act accordingly. All right, now moving forward, we have said this. The reason I am giving this is because we should understand the background upon which we are building. So I've already said what I've said, that this is the person that gave me the directive to make sure that this broadcast is given out. So as you keep hearing more broadcasts, I am not doing it as long as it has to do with Life Force. I am in agreement with the person in charge. It is not supposed to be known. The person is supposed to be made private, not public. What you are going to see is when this thing starts playing out in the national level, you see the names playing out, and you understand that the yardstick that I used is exactly what will feature. So we have already shown the number of people that are in this list. This is about 1,614. And I've already made an estimate of how it's going to be. So you can refer back to my previous video to see them. So these people, they are going to be people who are, number one, earning enough Bitcoin bounty. I've arranged it according to preference. And secondly, there are people who are also attending meetings. I hope we understand and we get this clear. So hopefully between now and tomorrow, we'll have gotten this list together. And then the next thing that will follow is updating it here. It is the responsibility of the man in charge of this place or the woman in charge of this place to upload it at his or her own will. It's up to the person to decide. But my responsibility alongside with the team in Nigeria is to get them together and then give it to him. And then these leaders that are going to be there are not leaders to usurp authority over people. No, they are leaders that are supposed to work for the good of humanity at large. This is what we are going to do. And God is going to help all of us. All right. So far, so good. We are building on our core team, about 5,590. As at yesterday, it was 5,600 and something. But now it has gone down because some of them who paid with grains of gold kept paying with grains of gold, and they were taken out of the core team, because if you keep paying for grains of gold 1 month, 2 months, the third month you pay, you're off. So you have to be consistent. And some people say it's quite difficult. Yesterday, someone called me and was complaining. Now, the person said that TBC is not easy. So many people are working hard and they are doing everything possible, and that so many people are giving up. You don't expect it to be easy. You don't expect it to be easy, because for you to have global influence, imagine Elon Musk. He has global influence. Do you know how hard he worked? He kept working and kept working and kept working. Life wasn't easy for him, but he was desperate and he was determined. Anyway, I don't think he was desperate, but he was determined and consistent that he was going to succeed, and he succeeded. So you don't expect the road to be so easy when you want to succeed in life. You have to work hard and hard and hard until you succeed. It's about your mind. According to the words of the administration, he says that every limitation is self-imposed. Whether you have 10 downlines and all of them are no more paying, go out and get more downlines. It's actually something that someone has to be determined to do, because people will fall off. I'm serious about this. Some people are thinking that once Life Force comes in, that within a month or 2 months or 3 months, that fundings will start coming. Let me educate you so that people will get this very well. It's not about once you are organized on the national level, regional level, state level, or local level, that immediately you are going to start receiving fundings. No, you have to get organized. You have to be rectified. After you have been rectified, then people will decide, whoever you are, as a team of 30, you decide to set up a proposal. Now, that proposal must have what you call EIA, environmental impact on the environment you are in. And then how many people are going to benefit from that project? Then you're also going to check the financial implication. You're also going to check, is it going to be a self-funded project? After you've built those things you want to build, how are you going to generate money to render services to the people who will be employed in that business? All those things has to be documented. And after it's been documented, it is submitted. If the cost is if it's running into 50, 100, 200,000, 300,000, don't expect Life Force to just look at it and say, okay, this is it, and they send in the money. It has to be looked into diligently. It has to be looked into comprehensively. And after they've looked into it and they think that it is worth it, then that money will come. So from the point of you getting organized and then getting rectified, it could take as much as 3 months. And then after you've been rectified, you gather projects together and then put in the cost estimate. You pay engineers, possibly it's a construction work. Whoever it is, the structural engineer, the architectural engineer, the a mechanical engineer, the electrical engineer, the plumbers, and all, you have to put those things and also accommodate yourself for salary. Put it there and submit. They will look into it. There are engineers that are there, excellent engineers that will review it. And if there is any fraud, well, you are out. But if it is something that is credible enough, then fundings will come in. Now, from the time you get rectified and the time you get that thing prepared and submitted to them, and then they look through it and get funding, it could take as much as 3 to 6 months. So don't expect fundings to start coming in immediately. No, it doesn't work like that. So as this thing is going on, you are getting trainings from the administration of the Crinkle Private Society. Beware of these things I'm saying, because some of you are just running into TBC because you want to get fundings. It doesn't work like that. You have to understand the system, that Rome was not built in a day. It is diligently one step at a time. And you have to form a government and be active in that government system, or else someone else is going to replace you. I believe I've passed on my information, and that is why this core team is required, because the people who are going to be part of this life force will comprise of those that are on the core team. Beware of what I'm saying. So finally, I've already talked about this. Finally, before I go, one person, one account. Many people are playing smart with the TBC community, and it is to their own peril. Because of that, the administration has decided to modify the rules. From next month, if you invite someone to the TBC community, you are not getting 10 TBC anymore. You are now getting 1 TBC, whether it's active or inactive, 1 TBC. Now, this is why TBC is a system that is correcting the anomaly that the elites has created. That fraudulent mindset, we are going to correct it. So referrals going forward will become 1 TBC. That's exactly what the administration has decided upon. There is also a tendency that when the admin wallet has reduced to 500 million, there is every tendency that there will be a modification of everything that is here. Everything that is here. We are going to pay more emphasis now with merchants. We are going to pay so much emphasis to merchants, because at that point, Crinkle coins will now be the thing prevailing. No more TBC, because by then TBC era may have fizzled out. It is time that shall determine how it will be. But what the administration is doing is to make sure that he does all that is required so that TBC can be distributed in such a way that people will merit having TBC coins. Remember, you don't buy TBC. You earn TBC. You don't buy TBC. We are still in the distribution phase. And by the time we have entered our economy phase, those who were able to take full advantage of this system will become the billionaires and millionaires in our Crinkle Private Society. Food subsidy centers are also running alongside. As we build and get organized and then get funded by Life Force, we set up our food subsidy centers. So this will be all for today. I believe I've said a whole lot. And so far so good, 28 minutes. Well, it's all good. If there are any questions that has to be asked, feel free ask. If there are no questions, then I think I'll call it quit for today. And all right. So thank you very much. If you have stayed on my broadcast, do well to like, share, subscribe, because every day I'll be giving you fresh information from our Crinkle Private Society. Meetings will be from the administration. Trainings will be from the administration. So I call you to join us in our meetings, 4 p.m. West African time. Do well to join us so that you can know and position yourself well for this life force. Wow, the administration was watching and I was not aware. Like, seriously, admin, welcome. And it's been a pleasure having you on my broadcast. Thank you very much. So till I'll be coming your way again, cheers and God bless you. Bye for now.